So while Jill goes for a surf, we're gonna go talk about the Canon 5D Classic, and then maybe take some photos, and then maybe surf. We shall see. But it's cold out there, so I don't need to go in right away. But it's sunny, as you can see, so we shall see. I think we'll go over here and see if we can find somewhere to talk. And then, yeah, hopefully take some photos of Jill surfing near Lovekin. Ooh. Ooh. Now that is a nice stump. Alright, I think I'll post up right here, start yapping about the Canon 5D Classic, and then once I'm done, hopefully take some photos of Jill and then maybe go out there myself. Okay, so like I promised, I wanted to come here and talk about the Canon 5D Classic. Why? I don't know. I guess on YouTube it's becoming more popular and you know, folks are really enjoying it. And I remember first discovering it. Forrest Menken's one of my favorite photographers. Goodness, probably 5-6 years ago. I remember I saw a bunch of tweets from him just talking about how great the colors are from Canon 5D Classic. So it was always on my radar. And then I saw one on Marketplace for like $40 and my sister bought it for me. But my first shot with it, the shutter just blew up essentially. So chalked it up to $40 for batteries. And so then, you know, about a year later, I saw another one for sale on a used camera site and it was about $125 Canadian. And so I bought it. I took about 40 photos with it and then the shutter mirror fell off, which I think is pretty common with these cameras. I watched some YouTube videos. A lot of folks just super glue it and no issues. I was a little and since I just purchased it, I contacted them and they actually had another Canon 5D Classic. So replaced it with this one. And I've been using that for, I don't know, probably 6 or 8 months. And it's honestly my favorite digital camera for photography right now. And honestly, just overall. Usually on, you know, big trips, just around town, I'm only shooting film. My partner and I went to Australia and Tasmania for 3 weeks this last fall, and I took this, which was really surprising to me. I've taken it on a few bike packing trips, again, where I usually just shoot film. And I'm always shooting RAW with it, but it's just fun to shoot. I really, really love the optical viewfinder that isn't like a mirrorless camera where, you know, you can preview exactly what it's going to look like. So yeah, loving that with it. It's just really easy to use. Like, it reminds me a lot of my Canon EOS 3. So the top dial, I'm not sure if you can see it. It has shutter, priority, exposure compensation, tells you you're shooting RAW, like all the information you need, but not too overwhelming. You've got like your mode dial, which totally cool. I always shoot aperture priority. My favorite lens and my only lens I use with it is the 40mm f2.8. But all in, you can probably get this for like $250 Canadian if you look for a good price on it. And it takes phenomenal photos. So yeah, I just wanted to show it. It does have a screen, but I don't recommend using that ever. I don't think it has live view. I really just look at it to make sure, okay, was the photo properly exposed, looking at the histogram, and that's about it. But my intention today was, I brought my iPad to show you some of my favorite photos. I find a lot of times when watching YouTube, I want to be inspired by folks and what they're creating with a specific camera. And I don't know, I guess I've been left wanting with Canon 5D videos where folks go through the technical specs, but I'm like, okay, I want to see what you're shooting. And a lot of photos have focused on JPEG. I don't shoot JPEG. I don't mind editing the RAWs. And yeah, I just found I was shooting Fujifilm digital before and, you know, started with the film simulations, but then everyone did. And so my photos looked exactly like everyone else's, which got a little bit of like, you know, and then I started shooting RAW with it, but you could still tell it was a Fujifilm. And then again, started using this and I love the RAW files. They're super easy to edit. So I'll show you kind of like my final photos and then, you know, what they look like RAW so you can get a better idea. But let's find a spot to set up and we can start going through it here. And look who it is. There goes Jill. Bright pink surfboard. Always easy to see, so easy to take photos. Working that shoulder. Good work, Jill. Physios will love that. Hopefully if you find some good ones, maybe she'll catch some while I'm recording this. Okay, got the butt pad here, got my iPad. If you've never edited on an iPad, I really recommend it. Better than a keyboard, you just feel a little bit more in tune with photos, so give it a try. I know a lot of folks use Lightroom Classic. I use Lightroom Cloud. I don't know, just always been what I'm familiar with. I see my video camera right now has the battery's actually flashing at me, so let's try to speed run this. All right, so when I got home, the screen recording footage looked like this. No idea what happened inside of Lightroom, but I'm just going to show you the edited JPEGs, and I don't know, if there's enough interest, I can put together a folder with raw files, but I basically just, turned up warmth, vibrancy, and adjusted exposure, so nothing changed too much. So when I first got the camera, I think the first trip, we live on Vancouver Island, and there's a lot of ferries, so we took this ferry from Vancouver Island to Vancouver, and then another one from Vancouver to the Sunshine Coast to go visit Jill's parents. I really like this photo. I'm not much of a street photographer or anything like that, but I feel like this is reminiscent of where I like to do it, out in nature. Again, the warmth in this photo is basically what I'm doing, but I just love these ferries. They're super photogenic, and walking around with the Canon 5D is very fun. This is just a beautiful sunset, to be honest. And so this is a folder. I think I have like 160 favorites, and this probably took up 10% of the favorites. So just going through, long tapping so you folks can see the raw photo and then how I edited them. But again, you're just going to see a lot of warmth added to them. Notice I take a lot of vertical photos. I guess that's what Instagram does to us, hey? But I never really post digital work on my Instagram grid. I don't know. I reserve it for film. And so I felt like this video was maybe a good way to show off my digital photos, because a lot of times, I don't know, they'll sit on my Lightroom, or maybe I'll upload some to the Instagram story. But typically I'm shooting film alongside these, and honestly my film scans came back looking a lot like how I edited these, like, not too different. So then I'm like, well shit, why am I shooting film? But the challenge, I don't know, the waiting. But it is kind of surprising how close you can get. All right, here's some different photos, not just ferries. My friends Hufton and Maddie were getting married, and I brought along the Canon 5D. And yeah, this was kind of like a overcast day, but I'm really happy with how the Canon took those photos. I'm not much of a person photographer. Jill and I were going on a bike packing trip, and the first night I couldn't find a hotel, but I found a yurt for cheaper than a hotel, and we booked the yurt, and it was the best thing of our life. This photo, I was like, holy shit, I love this Canon, because right out of the camera, like, that's a pretty good photo raw. I didn't have to edit it too much, just turn up the vibrance and warmth a bit, but yeah, this is, I think, when I really started falling in love with it. So the next morning, broad daylight, we went to the trestles and we went for a little swim before starting our bike trip. Here we are on one of the Gulf Islands. I really love this photo and how it rendered just the colors, like that orange, but it doesn't look super artificial or anything like that. There's Jilly Bean biking around on the Gulf Islands. This was kind of a night, overcast, weird colors. But then the sun popped out. There's Jill fucking around with her Pentax Auto 110, a little 110 film she bought on another bike trip, but she's been loving that camera. I really love how these colors turned out. It was getting pretty close to sunset here. And best part about bike packing on the Gulf Islands, you get food, including pizza. There's my bike, tossing it on there, and then we went for a little picnic. But again, I don't think I'm editing like too much. You're the expert here, you tell me, but I don't have to like manipulate them too much. Cinch Tech, shout out Cinch Tech, great toques, beanies, whatever you refer to them as. I think a common pattern is I just warm them up, all these photos, a bit. No idea what happened to my leg in this photo. I think it's resting behind my other foot. But Jill's sister joined us. There's Allie there. Started to get some more photos. Here's my hometown of Kamloops. I went for a morning bike ride, brought the 5D along. Got some nice photos. I love, love, love this one. I don't think I had to edit it too much. It was like dusty, foggy. It's like a diffusion filter kind of thing rolling through. But a really nice morning. I love this photo, how the colors came through on it. This is a hike near where I grew up. It's my mom's favorite, and I really like going with her. I love this harsh contrast of this one. Yeah. Sometimes when you grow up somewhere, you don't really appreciate its beauty. And Kamloops is just, growing up, it was like, everything's brown, everything's dead. But now that I don't live there, going back, it's like, okay, that's kind of beautiful, other than this green field. That is super green. Yeah. I guess a lot of these were my favorites. My mom told me to take this photo, so this is for you, Mom. Thank you for the microphone for my birthday that I'm recording on. Here's, and maybe these are my favorite photos just because they're meaningful to me, I guess, but this is my dad's bike, 1993. My dad passed away, if you don't know me, I guess, and I remember being a kid on this bike and being in the booster seat on the back, and so my friend Jackson and I are bringing it back to life, and then we took it for a little stroll up to his cabin. This was in the autumn. There's the current build of this, so just breathing new life into that. Okay, here we are. This is when Jill and I went to Tasmania, Australia. Broad daylight. There's penguins on this beach, so Jill was doing her best penguin vibe. But I really like shooting this camera because, you're not going to shoot film, or at least I'm not, other than sunrise, sunset for the most part. And so having this camera allows me to take some more photos. Look at that wave in the background. So we did this 3 Capes track. It's a hike in Tasmania, 4-nighter, and you're basically walking along this really nice cliffs all the way. So as someone afraid of heights, you can imagine my fear. There's a lighthouse out here, and fun fact, I think it opened like 1915-ish, but you had to have all your teeth removed if you were going to go work there because they didn't want any dental infections. So pretty crazy. They built this lighthouse, I think right here is where they had to go out and actually get started. Double rainbow, throwback to that YouTube video. But again, I think I shot way more digital than film on this, which is unusual just because a lot of our hiking was like broad daylight. Yeah, and I was just really impressed with how the Canon handled these files, so I definitely bring it again. Okay, now we're driving the Great Ocean Road. Oh, best part of Great Ocean Road, Jill found a Shetland pony farm. They're not eating the Shetland ponies. Basically, there's a farm and there's a bunch of Shetland ponies on it. To clarify, I think 160 of them. And so it's just beautiful. We got there for sunset, and then the next morning we woke up for sunrise, and it was spectacular. And so you'll see they basically live just above the ocean, and it was just gorgeous. I love the warmth of, I don't know, I'm not super technical. The hair here, is that the highlights, shadows, who knows? Probably shadows. But I love that photo. Game of Thrones fans, you'll like this one. But just a spectacular location. Thanks, Jill, for photobombing, looking over the Great Ocean Road, the ocean with these Shetland ponies and these green pastures. You could imagine why these were some of my favorite photos, right? 12 Apostles, black and white. Again, it was like broad daylight, so that it was like, decided to make them black and white. I forget where this is, somewhere on the Great Ocean Road, but we just got a really nice sunset while Jill and I went for this like lighthouse walk. And then this was near Byron Bay, maybe Crescent Head, I don't know, ignorant Canadian. I kind of forget this, maybe I should have looked it up. I just wanted to come here and brain dump at you folks about, my favorite photos with this camera. Here's Byron Bay, I know that one for sure. Crazy sunset. The clouds turned completely pink up above here, and it just made look at this photo. It just made everything pink. I haven't seen one like that. It was really special. Here's at home, the harbor in Ucluelet where we live. I really like this. When I was walking down there, the Folgers coffee can. Long Beach. This is where I'm recording right now. Pretty iconic spot. I love the motion blurs. Make it look like a painting. Here's over the holidays. Jill and I were at our parents' house in Gibson. Just nice sunrise over the holidays, and then back to Kamloops with my family at Christmas. Jill showing off her new sweater. Shout out Amundsen Sports. But yeah, really nice sunrise, Jill fucking around with the snow. Then we went for a snowshoe up near Lac Lejeune area. These photos when I got my film scans back, like they look identical almost. So again, it's like, why did I shoot digital? Having a little tea because I think it was like minus 15, almost minus 20 that day. It was chilly. Okay, well, I don't know. I rambled for a good chunk of this, so thanks for watching if you are watching. Hopefully, but yeah, I just hope these photos have inspired you. Probably. Yeah, I don't know. So many times I'm watching reviews on YouTube, right? Just like you are, if you're watching this, and I don't know. I just want to see more photos of what people take with the camera I'm watching, and not just like test photos. Like, I don't know, just show me the photos you're proud of, that you like, that really resonate with you. That's what I want to see more of, and I find it really inspires me, gives me a better like insight of like, okay, what do the colors look like on this camera? And maybe it's just like, it's always going to be in the best light or best situation, but yeah, that's all I can say. All right, you got to see this moon. Wow.